What are some of the important things you've learned outside formal education that are surprising or most important that you'd like to share?
Lately I've been learning from younger people who I think do this really well. And I wish I'd known when I was younger when you talk about your work, to speak from your own context and not the place of the gatekeepers of the art world who are at the center. And it's something, when I went through art school, I make abstract paintings, and I was trained to talk about my process, to talk about my form, to talk about where I fit within the larger context art historically, and to prove how certain theoretical frameworks apply to my work. And so that's all I did for years. And now I look back at those years and I look at my artist statements and I wonder, what the fuck? Where is my activism? Where's my narrative trauma? Where's all the obsessive, weird, fascinating elements that actually go into making my work, where it really comes from? Um, my theory now is that the center of the art world is winning at capitalism. They're way more rich than we are, but they're totally losing at imagination. And I think they are terrified of their own irrelevancy. They're actually not irrelevant. I think they're not relevant thinkers anymore. Whereas if you were making your work and speaking from your center and not their center, you are going to have relevancy within your work. And that's the place to speak to. I think that there's a fear that you're going to be accused of navel gazing, which is a very classic insult that the center, which is mostly white, mostly male, will accuse a lot of people who are not mostly white and not mostly male. But it's so much more interesting. That's where that's the source of my work. And it's something that I've learned from younger generations who seem to be waking up to this, that we don't have to do that anymore.
I think what's really interesting is like when that mindset of the center that you describe, no matter how who the person is, what their background is, you can buy into that mindset and replicate it.
Yeah, you can adopt, that's how survival and capitalism works, right? You adopt the framework of the dominant culture, and it can take you a while to step back and recognize, like, wow, I'm actually not making work from this place. And speaking to what you're actually doing and not hiding it can be really powerful. And I think I think viewers and readers are really receptive to speaking from that place now. And I think that's what's terrifying to the gatekeepers,
Mhm.
that they can't keep up with that part.